we always feel like service just gets like the short end of the stick with regards to digital advertising. So I see a lot of times where I'll see like the main variable account for sales gets, $10,000, $20,000 budget, and we throw like $500 to service and we think we're calling it good. Now, granted, most good digital advertising companies can squeeze an awful lot of performance out of that $500. But let me ask you something. We just came off a really bad month, January, right? What's keeping the lights on? What's keeping people employed at your dealership? What's keeping things running? Well, if you've got maximum efficiency in your fixed ops department, that'd be your fixed ops that's actually keeping things on and running for your store. So then let's give them a little bit more love with regards to digital advertising, because we want to keep that flow going. Now, I'm not saying if you're putting up $20,000 for your sales digital advertising, you need to put up $20,000 for service. No, I'm not saying that. That'd be great, but I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you probably should calculate roughly at a minimum 10% of your sales budget is what you should be using for your service budget. And that's where you should start. And if you're less than that, you need to step it up. Now, why do I say it that way? Because you can be a lot more, I don't want to say precise, but that's pretty much the only word I can think of using. You can be a lot more precise with your campaigns, because where do we want to capitalize the most on fixed ops marketing? We want to capitalize on those biggest points of defection, the core four: brakes, batteries, tires, oil changes. So those are the campaigns that you should really be investing in. I don't know that I would invest in, personally, I don't see, and maybe there are some other advertisers that see this, but personally, I don't see that great of a performance out of doing campaigns for every single model I have in my manufacturer stable, and then the word service, or even the brand that I sell on the word service. I don't know that I see that great a performance out of it. But I do see a pretty decent performance out of brakes, batteries, tires, oil changes. Now, I know what you're going to say next. But Candace, I have to bid on the OEM, the make, the manufacturer that I sell the cars for in new, and then the service, the whatever services I provide. And you can. But let me ask you this. Who services the cars that go out to your used car lot? Your guys do. So don't be afraid to capture some other business. Don't be afraid to capture some oil change business. Now, I'm not saying you should not invest in, Toyota service or Ford service or Nissan service. I'm not saying don't invest in those as far as the campaign goes. But I'm thinking, from what I'm seeing, metric-wise, I just don't see the ROI on doing Altima oil change, Altima brakes, Altima tires, Altima battery, and then doing that for every single model in your stable. I'm just not seeing the return on that, frankly. So if you want to do a make specific with service specific campaign, and you want to do that for, windshield wiper blades, and you want to do that for all the little, intricacies that do make up your parts and service department, that's your prerogative. But I would pay more attention to it than I see stores paying attention to it now. Most stores don't involve their service director, depend 100% on the digital advertising company, and don't involve their parts manager, don't involve anybody with fixed ops from the region, from the OEM at all. And then they'll see a decent performance, but it could be so much better. Involve all those people. Pull in your service director, pull in your parts manager, ask your fixed operations manager, or whatever that term is for your particular OEM, to sit on that call and ask them to give their insights on what they see, boots on the ground, or from the manufacturer level. What do you see that we could utilize that we're not utilizing? Oh, you see that We don't have a tire ad and we've got a buy 3 get 1 tire for $1 campaign right now. You don't see that in any of our advertising on our website. That's information that could be useful. That's coming, maybe that's starting in March. That's great. You could start that, get that campaign built up. So March 1, you have it built and done. I'm saying involve the parties that need to be involved to maximize maximize the success of your fixed ops campaigns. If you're not doing that, you're really limiting the success that your store is capable of in the fixed ops department. So, and this goes all the way down, not only through digital advertising, but all the way through the website too. Your website is geared around sales. Look at it. That thing, like I was saying, that thing at the top that says search anything, but it doesn't really search anything. It searches anything if you're looking for a car, but type the word brakes in there. Type the word tires in there. Type the word oil change. Type the word battery. Do you get the results for those things? If you do, you are ahead of the game. Fantastic. If you don't, you need to have a conversation with your website service provider. Because that is a serious lacking in the ability and ignoring a huge part of your business. So make sure that you're involving all the parties that need to be involved to maximize the success for your service business. That includes service director, that includes whoever does the fixed ops from the OEM level for your store, that involves the parts manager. There's a huge opportunity in parts that we're not taking advantage of either. Key fobs, keychains, key fob covers, windshield wiper blades, brake pads, people who want to DIY stuff themselves for oil filters. And I'm just thinking about what I've seen. A parts manager has a plethora of other ideas of stuff that he sees go out the door that I probably don't even know about. That's why you want to involve in the meeting. Your website should be a reflection of the entirety of what your business does. And your business doesn't just sell cars. Hell, selling cars doesn't even keep the damn lights on. Let's all be honest with each other. It's fixed ops. Otherwise, they'd have a sales ops absorption rate. But they don't. They have a fixed ops absorption rate. Because that's what tells me that my fixed ops department is the one who is keeping the lights on here. So what I'm saying is organize your website so that your fixed ops department gets an equal amount of love as your sales department. Make sure that you have the CTAs to get to schedule service, to find the specials and parts front and center, right along with your inventory and your sales department specials. Because if we're going to put up all these roadblocks for people to get to the service department, then we are responsible for the results of the service department, not the service department guys standing on the ground front line dealing with the customers. That's all I got for this week. Happy selling.